Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table. It is Sunday, so that means it is time for Scraplift Crafternoon. And we are lifting this beautiful 2-page layout by Janine Ross, and her information will be in the description box below, as well as a playlist for all the people who are playing along with Scraplift Crafternoon. I thought I would show you what I'm going to use. I have several photos of me. These are probably about 1979, most of them. This one's a little earlier. This one was 76. I'm just guessing on most of them, but I'm pretty sure this was 5th grade. Maybe 4th grade. So mid to late 70s. This one is 79. There's a date on the back. So I'm going to spread those across this 2-page layout. Mine don't match her sizes, but I still think I can make it work. I am using the photographer collection from Minte, and I showed you that in a video a couple days ago. I also have this lined paper that I might use. I think I'm going to, where she has the multicolored stripe border, I think I am going to use strips of this, what are these called? Film strips. I think that's what I'm going to put there. And then I will decide about a title. I haven't come up with that yet. But I have lots of things in this bin that I can use for the embellishments that she has around hers. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to map my photos and make a few decisions and cut a couple of things. And then I will be back with my usual sped up video and a voiceover. You can see here that I have created a background similar to Janine's in the original. I have this pattern paper in the center and something different on the 2 outside edges. What's out on the outside is actually a textured cardstock. It's a cream color on one side and this tan on the other, and it kind of has an embossed pattern on it. Here I decided to gut some of this because a lot of the pattern paper is going to be covered up. And since this is only the second project I have made from this collection, I decided I wanted to save the bits and pieces. Here I'm just adhering this film strip piece over the Martha Stewart fancy edge. And I have one on the left there, and you'll see this goes on the right. The one on the left ends up disappearing. You can you see there's a gap there at the top of the left column. I'm not happy with that, and I was sure I had the right number of photos, and I actually did, and you'll see in a little bit that I find one. And that did cause me some trouble. Here I found the one that had fallen under my chair. And so now I don't have the brown gap, but I also don't have that other photo on here. So I'm having to rethink what I was going to do. I decide for the moment to, I had done the math and figured out how much brown paper I needed up there for these, and I goofed because I matted them all on one white block instead of individual ones like they are on the right, and that ended up leaving me that brown gap. And at this point I had taken a lot of time with this layout because it just wasn't working. I was not happy, and I decided I can't take this apart again for those photos. So I just used this piece. It was actually, you're supposed to make an envelope out of it, but I used it as a tab to fill in there, and I actually put a word sticker there later, so it serves a good purpose. So I'm going to have 3 embellishment clusters, a large one on the left and 2 smaller ones on the right. One toward the middle of the bottom. Actually, it ends up being more moved over to the left just a little bit. And I wanted some circular elements because Janine had those in hers. So I cut this one in half. It's a scallop circle from an embellishment pack. And I also use a label up there. And you can see that I tilted the label. Everything is so straight and right angled in this that I wanted that tilted up there. You can see that I am working on the left now. And I messed with this for a good probably 35 or 40 minutes. I could not come up with something I was happy with. I knew I wanted a journaling block. It was sticking out like a sore thumb. And I don't know. I did so much. And I don't have you watch it all, even sped up. I took probably a good half hour's worth out of here. And you'll see in a moment, right there, that I decided this isn't working. I got to do something different. So I cut a floral strip and added there, because I do have lots of florals on the right hand side, so I think that works. And I added a scalloped circle from the embellishment pack, and I popped it up on some foam adhesive. I added a camera. I added a fussy cut floral piece. Here I'm creating a label just with a rectangle and a tiny little circle punch to take out the corners, because I wanted a label to do some journaling on, but all the labels in the embellishment pack, they're too embellished to write. There's nowhere you could write. And so I do a little bit of journaling, and I matted the journaling box on a piece of a tag to give it a little bit of a border. It helps it fit in more, I think. And I wish I hadn't cut off the ends. I wish I had left it and then moved it over a little bit to the left. But at this point, I needed to be done. It was approaching midnight, and yeah, I just needed to get done, so I wasn't going to remake it. I knew I was going to tuck this beneath that fussy cut floral in that panel, so I just traced around the floral piece with pencil so that my journaling could go around that and not be hidden behind it. And I just wrote, "I'm so grateful for the photographers who captured these otherwise forgotten moments from my childhood. I treasure these photos." And I do. They're not all from one event. I had said in the intro, I think, that they were 5th grade. They're not. They're more 3rd grade. And some are silly, some are not. But I would not remember the big snowstorm, or the day I sat in my nephew's high chair, or the silly moment with my brother and my nephew, if someone hadn't thought to snap these photos. So there were some white gaps on the journaling box there that were kind of bothering me, but putting 3 of those black lenses there just didn't feel right either. So I opted to put in 1, and I remembered that when I pulled some stash to go with this collection, that I pulled some 49 and Market rub-ons. Here they are. I don't remember what color these are. Sorry. Might be stone or something like that. Anyway, I just cut little random blotches and put them in that journaling box. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in person, it works so much better. It gets rid of the stark white spaces, and that was just what I needed for there. So I'm just about done. The still shots are coming up in a moment. I'm really glad that you're here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll subscribe. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you would leave me some feedback, that would be great. And in the description box below will be lots of links. There will be Scraplift Crafternoon links for the creator who we scraplifted, for all the people playing along. There'll be a playlist. There will also be information about the whole kit and caboodle from Ginger's Corner. So please check out the description box and watch some of these other videos too. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you get to scrapbook something very soon. Bye-bye.